The one last thing I'll ask you about right now, though, is Mitch Williams, Wild Thing, one of the iconic pitchers of the early 90s, Phillies legend. He saved your life in a way, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he thinks he did. I would have preferred to find out a different way than getting hit in the nuts by 90-something skipping off the wet grass in Los Angeles. But I would have preferred he threw a chest high to me.
Yeah.
That would have been better than trying to block it and taking one off the goobs, man. It broke my cup, and it was quite large. My right testicle was really large at the time. Hurt like hell too. But I was afraid to go to a doctor because I didn't want them to tell me something bad, so I ignored it. I tried to ignore it all winter too. Like now I'm in the winter in West Virginia. It's colder than hell, and I'm wearing shorts with no underwear. I couldn't wear underwear. I mean, it hurt so damn bad to do anything, like to bend over, to do anything. It hurt like hell, and really got like I would throw up at times because it would hurt my stomach so bad. So I go to spring training. I'm thinking, all right, I'm just going to ignore this pain and fight through it. Well, you're wearing a cup, you're taking grounders every day. I mean, it was freaking brutal, the pain. So finally they said, look, we're going to send you. So I go to a hospital in Clearwater, Tampa, wherever. And they did an ultrasound. They did something else, hematoma, just a hematoma where, nothing, you can't do nothing. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So keep taking anti-inflammatories. I'm like, oh yeah, these things help me. But so I go back to spring training the next day, same thing, fielding grounders, upset stomach. I go in the dugout, throw up. And so Bill Giles, the owner, Lee Thomas, general manager, said, Bill Giles was the one. He said, listen, he said, we're going to fly you up to Philly. You're going to go to Jefferson Hospital, and you're going to go to the best, whatever, urologist in the city. And we got an appointment, and you're going to go there and get checked because you can't continue going through like this. I said, all right. So I fly up to Philly. I go to this doctor, and the doctor ran all these tests again, probably early afternoon. And he said, hey, he said, all it is a hematoma. He said, you have nothing going on. He said, just keep taking anti-inflammatory. I'm like, man, I think I'm puking because these damn anti-inflammatories having to take, one or two every damn day. Those things aren't conducive to having a good stomach. So I said, listen, I want you to do the surgery and remove my right testicle. He said, there ain't no way I'm doing that. And I said, listen, we're the defending National League champions. I said, I need to play. So I need you to take this out because I can't play like this. And he said, I tell you what, he said, go for a walk, go have lunch or something, go for a walk. And if you feel this strongly, then I'll do it. I walked out the hallway, walked down the hall, you turned back. I said, Doc, let's fucking go.
Jesus.
And so he said, all right. Well, this is when you've lived a really screwed up life. So I get the surgery, right? I'm in the hospital next day, next morning. Well, that night, a young doctor came in, and he said, surgery went well, everything's fine. I said, so I'm good? He goes, yeah, surgery went good, everything's good. All right, good. I'm thinking, all right, maybe it was just a hematoma thing. And but then I said, did they put like a prosthetic in, like a marble or something, so my weight distribution's okay? And they said, no, we don't do that. I'm like, oh, shit. So I used to be lopsided for a while. So I figured this out. So the next morning, the nurse comes in, and she starts to wheel me out of the room. And I'm like, I said, excuse me, where are we going? She said, we got to do a lymph angiogram to see if the cancer spread. I'm like, what? They said, yeah, we got to see if the cancer spread. I said, now what cancer would that be? They said, well, you have testicular cancer. When we ran a test on your testicle, you have cancer.
Jeez.
And I'm like, holy shit. So, and I said, why didn't that doctor last night tell me? He said, oh my God. He said, he's young. He's a big Phillies fan. And he was afraid to tell you.
Oh.
I'm like, what the hell was I going to do? Jump up and punch him?
Yeah.
Like it's your fault that I have cancer? I mean, come on.
You had the right thought, which was like your body was telling you something's wrong. And even though the doctors are saying like, hey, it looks like it might just be a bruise, you were like, I will literally give my right nut to play baseball.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
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 You're trying to like make it sound like maybe not, but yes.
That's what you said. Yes. You're like, we're the defending NL champions.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was no way I could have played that way. There's no way. And I knew it wasn't going to get better. The problem is because I waited, because doctors told me it was just a hematoma, and I waited. After they did that lymph angiogram, I did have swelling in my cancer spreading in my stomach. So I had to do, instead of 20 radiation treatments, I had to do 25. And, so that was because I waited. But, I missed the first 6 games because the team was on the road. I had to stay and get treatments. And, I remember the home opener, we got our National League championship rings, and they weren't going to let me play. Game was at like 1, I think. And like at 11:45, 12 o'clock, they still weren't going to let me play. So I had my cancer doctor call Jim Fregosi and Lee Thomas in Jim Fergosi's office and say, look, he can't get hurt. If he feels like he can play, he can play. So they looked at me and they said, what do you think? I said, I already told you, man, I want to play. I said, we didn't have a great road trip. I had to watch these damn games on TV. I want to play and try to make a difference. They're like, all right, screw it. You're going to play. I'm like, oh, probably the dumbest decision I've ever made in my life, because I felt after like the first 2 or 3 games, I felt like death because I was getting radiation treatments in the morning and going to the ballpark and playing.
That's crazy.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
People say, what were you thinking? I said, well, I wasn't. It's not a strong suit of mine, putting the brain to use. But it was the dumbest thing I've ever done, trying to play while getting radiation. I should have waited another couple weeks and come back healthier and stronger. And, probably been a bigger help to the team than playing like the way I was trying to play, feeling like I was feeling.